Hey, Shalom to Ma'akim, Wa'awathim, and Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Now, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, Ba'Hashem Ruach HaKodesh. And I want to let it be known that this, first and foremost, is primarily an exhortation to the brothers, to the Akim out there. Okay? Just put together this lesson, and the Spirit has been on me very heavy to touch on this. Definitely got to touch on this, man. But I pray to just be edifying. And what we're going to discuss is women in these last days, man. And firstly, I want to just reveal something, man. Isaiah 4:1, where 7 women shall take hold of one man. We're in the beginnings of this. Because as things worsen, a lot of these women are going to become more desperate. And the season we're in is going to separate the pussycats from the lions, the boys from the men, the fools from the wise. And we all know that the lot of these fools and these simps are going to be these women, man. A lot of men have gone out of their wits and have even seen an early grave because of women. And being that it's about to be an over influx of the need of protection for these women, you must have a vetting process. But we're going to discuss the topic of bewaring of these women. I mean, some women might try to flag this and say it's a woman bashing, but this is beyond feelings. This is just the truth. And as we all know, a lot of women hate that they can't handle the whole truth. They can't eat the whole scroll, man. But us as men, we got to detach our emotions and know that, not every woman is our mother. Not every woman is our sister. Not every woman is good, man. And actually the majority of them are not, and it's just the truth, But what I want to talk about is just an exhortation to the brethren in these last days and times. Just chop it up as a brother, man, first and foremost. And I actually have some information in this lesson, man, that's in the non-canon, Testament of Reuben. I actually went over it before, but it applies to this situation. And I'm going to be bringing out some information, and it should be very edifying, almost like a treat, man. This should be like just a treat, some of this information I'm going to be bringing out. And all in the spirit, you brothers should really be edified and enjoy this lesson, man. We are living in these times. Babylon is being shaken. It's being brought down. And these women don't want this place to go, man. It's like on every angle. I'm talking to my sisters, my mom, my wife. They all have this deeply rooted hope that all things will pass over and all things will go back to how they were. But they're just not. It's not going to happen. In the men of the Lord, we know this because we're measuring the times diligently, and we're reading the prophecies. We understand the season that we're in, But nonetheless, man, I'm gonna go ahead and start like this, right here. Due to privacy, I'm not gonna release all the info, man. But these women are already trying to somewhat cleave, man, or make themselves prevalent. Now, this is somebody I haven't talked to in maybe a year or two, and she was a female friend. You know what I mean? There's no ill will, or she never really did me dirty or did me, funny or nothing like that. But we all know, especially the older Akim, as you begin to have a family and have children, some people just become distant in your life. But these distant women are starting to show themselves. I received this text message today. You see, Monday, March 23rd, 2020. She's like, yes, we need to link ASAP as soon as all this shit clear up. And I'm dead ass. It's been so long. It has been so long. And I haven't even replied to this message, man. Because us as men, this is what we do not want to do. When you start getting attention from women out here, a lot of you goofy dudes, man, like I said, I'm talking primarily to the Akim in this video, man. We're going to sit down and break bread and sup on this one. But this is a lot of you dudes when you get attention. Right there. Right there. Oh, she's looking at me? She's talking to me? You get bashful, you get cheesy, you get goofy. Yeah, goofy. That's a lot of you dudes right there, man. That's y'all niggas, man. That's even some of you Akim. That's even some of you brothers that know better. Right there. As soon as a chick get in your inbox, you get all corny, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave that right there. right now, I'm put it on goofy, man. A lot of you dudes is goofy, man. A lot of these dudes are simps, man. They get a little bit of attention from these women, and it just leaves them wide open, and these women know it, you know. But in these dating times, you know, at least over the last few years, that men going their own way and Save Yourself Black Men, you know, MGTOW and SYSBM and IBMOR and all these movements have been coming out, you know, being led by men, and it has been putting men on game. That's nothing but the spirit, you know, because even if you go to Jeremiah, the 4th chapter, verse 30 or 31, it says, thy lovers shall despise thee, and they shall seek thy life, man. So in these times, the lovers of a lot of these dudes who were simps their eyes have been opened because of how the spirit's been pushing these different movements in these times, man, you know. And it's crazy, but it's beautiful too, because we're watching it all these prophecies just manifest and come to pass, man. I'm just gonna give you, Akim, a couple stories, a little bit to chop up, and then we're gonna get into the edifying scriptures, man. You know, to know how we should be moving and the knowledge we should be in these times that no longer that we're coming into, but the times that we're in right now. And it's going to intensify to the point where 7 women are gonna grab onto you and beg you for you to take them home with you, to beg you for you to be over them. You know, that strong Black independent spirit is out of here, man. That all my single ladies, oh, that spirit is gone, bruh. That spirit is deceased. Put a dandelion on that, man. Put a dandelion on that shit, man. It's over. That spirit is 6 feet under, bro. You know, and you're not gonna see a lot more of that. You're not gonna see much more rebellion out of these women, for the most part. At least to the point where it's a trend to rebel against the Israelite man and to dog and constantly denigrate and emasculate the Israelite man. Even for me, like even at home, even though, you know, for the most part, not even for the most part, I dominate my household, you know, as a man. But we're not to be lions in our home, and I had to repent for that, because sometimes I might be in a bad mood and just be as a raging lion in my home, just tripping on everybody. You know, we all human. We know the stresses, you know, as men. But we're not to be lions in our home, but you are to rule in your household, man. But even in my household, like right now, I just walked out that house, hopped in my car, built this lesson, put my phone on airplane mode. Like, my wife's been real, like, she been being quiet and being in her place, man. Well, normally she would call me back to back, get to yelling out the window, just doing that dumb shit a lot of these women be on sometimes. Now I have to go in there and check her, you know, put her in her place and things like that. You know, most of the time verbally, you know. But nonetheless, man, all that's ceasing because their power has been in the good health of Babylon running, you know, that Statue of Liberty spirit. That's what it represents, the liberty of women over men, not equal to men, definitely not under men, Salakia, but over men. And that spirit is dying, and women are going to want to be up under men in these times, and understandably so. Any woman who's really honestly is drunken off the Babylonian wine to the point where they really feel as though they don't need a man, Salakia. That feel as though they don't really need a man at this point in time, with the way things are looking, Akim, they're done for, bro. They're not going to stand a chance, and they're going to reconsider, because things haven't even gotten real yet. The UN peacekeepers haven't even been unleashed yet. It hasn't really been violence on the streets yet, with the uprising between the civilian populace and the National Guard, because they're definitely coming for a gun grab. They're definitely going to start kicking in doors and taking people's food for the sake of redistribution. You know, it's going to turn to a tyrannic socialist state here. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening right before our eyes. You know, with this martial law and all that, man. These women don't want to be in the house all alone, man. The mirth is gone in these streets, man. They can't just, a lot of women would take they enjoyed being single because they could do what they wanted. And society was operating in a way to where they could do what they want. You know, instead of being in the house, you know, cooking, cleaning, taking care of their kids, or if they didn't have kids, opening up the good word and meditating and spending time with Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, and, you know, being humble and meek and, you know, keepers at home. on a Friday night, on a Shabbat, and on a Saturday night, closing the Shabbat, they be in the clubs, getting drunk, trying to finesse free drinks. You know, oftentimes going to the nearest Motel 6 and getting popped. You know, it's crazy, man. You know, a lot of retribution needs to be made, and we're coming into the point where this retribution is about to be made because it's a huge game of musical chairs. There's more women than there are men, and knowing this, and it really is, there's like literally 7 women to 1 man in the ratio. Like, I don't know why that is. Like, for example, my father, he was the only son. You know what I mean? And he had 2 sisters. Me, you know, I'm the only son, and I have 3 sisters. My children, you know, I have 1 boy and 2 girls. You know what I'm saying? It's just girls are multiplied more. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it should be, because that's how you become fruitful and multiply, because it will be no balance if it was more men than it was women. You know what I mean? Then you'll have you'll typically have what we already have, a bunch of men sleeping with the same woman, but it shouldn't be like that, not in the righteous order, man. And that's something also to consider, you know, especially concerning the Israelite woman. You know, a lot of them here, especially in Babylon, America, they're defiled. You know, our forefathers took virgins, and it was law, especially within the priesthood. You cannot take a widow. You could not take a harlot. You had to take a virgin, man. And that's the way Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai had it since creation. You know what I mean? And that's really one of the only ways that this woman can really, truly love you. You know what I mean? And take on your spirit. A lot of these women have already taken on the spirits of a lot of men, and that's why they're on these antidepressants, and they have, some of them even grow facial hair because they have all that testosterone in them. You know, they have all this DNA from various men. It's just a bunch of confusion. And just like Esau is bringing in his order out of chaos, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai about to do the same thing on the righteous side. He's about to bring in mass judgment, you know, mass judgment, which is going to bring this chaos, in which he will instill his new order with his remnant, with his holy people, with the nation of Israel on top. So we're coming into beautiful times, man, but also times where you're going to have to implement discipline as a man. You know, these simps are not going to make it. They're going to get finessed, you know, because in times of desperation, women are survivors. They're very crafty. They're very crafty in how they do things. Like, let me give you an example of some of the things that are going to be going on very soon. We all should know by now that there is a disruption in the supply chain for food and resources right now. And they've been putting it off on panic buying, but it's not necessarily the case. These items are just not getting stocked up. And just for example, I went to Giant on Sunday, because it's my thing, like on Sunday mornings, to cook a breakfast for my, you know, eggs, waffles, you know, beef or turkey, kielbasa, sausage, you know, pancakes. You know, I like to make a nice hearty breakfast for my family on Sundays. You know, that's just what I do. And you would have never thought that eggs would become a luxury, yo. There's no eggs in the store. And it's no big deal, you know what I mean? But I went to Giant and they didn't have any. Then I went to 7-Eleven up the street, because usually they have some eggs, even though their produce and food is overpriced. But nonetheless, I really wanted some eggs. And I noticed they didn't have any either. So I wound up talking to the Arab guy who owned the 7-Eleven. It was speaking to him about it. Like, man, are people just coming in here and hoarding too? And he was like, yeah, man, we don't have any eggs, you know? And I was like, well, what, you know, I hopped out on a whim and just said, hey, man, when did you get your shipment in? So I could, you know, just come in and get some, you know, on that early that morning or something like that, you know? And he was telling me that he's put in an order for them the last 3 weeks and they're just not coming. So that's letting you know that the supply chain is being ruptured. The items are not coming to the stores. You know what I mean? So I played it off, you know, but I got information out of what he was telling me. But nonetheless, when these stores go completely empty, and it's going to get to the point in which it was prophesied in the book of 2nd Esdras, between the 15th and 16th chapter, that people will begin to invade one another. That's going to start occurring. You know, when that no longer works, people are going to be cannibalizing, you know. But nonetheless, when people begin evading each other, a lot of these men out here, especially a lot of these, oh man, the rabbit hole runs deep. You got to consider that a lot of inmates are getting out of jail, and there's some good guys, you know. I've experienced incarceration, and that's something else I want to touch on, because these women are in danger, bro. They don't understand the mind state of a man who hasn't beheld a woman or been able to be, Salakia, my phone went black. But nonetheless, I'm going to continue. A lot of these women don't understand the mind state of a man who has not beheld or been intimate with a woman in years, or however long these guys might have been sitting incarcerated. You know, I know how it feels to look out of a glass window in your cell and look at the most beastly woman, like correctional officer, a woman who you would see on the outside and be like, you wouldn't even look at her twice, bro. But watch her before your eyes within like 3 weeks turn to like Beyonce or Rihanna, bro. Just because she's a woman, you know what I'm saying? And it's natural for a man to desire a woman, you know? But a lot of these guys are going to come home. Well, not come home, but they're going to come out to society, and they're going to be scheming and plotting on women, you know, to fulfill their lust and their desires, because they've been locked up burning in lust, man, you know? And some of these women are going to cleave to these men, and the women who cleave to these men are going to bring these same, like I said, there's some good guys who are incarcerated, just made bad decisions, and they're doing their bit. They're taking their punishment from Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. There's some guys who are innocent, and they're upright. They just, you know, just like how Joseph was in the dungeon because of Potiphar's wife was lying on him. You know, some dudes, you know, are in for innocence, but there are an overwhelmingly high percentage of wicked men, you know, wicked, evil men who are in jail for a reason. Do you know what I'm saying? And some of these women are going to cleave to these guys, and these guys are going to utilize these women out here. And you have the goofy, the simp, you know, who's going to be overtaken by this. You know, there's going to be guys who's going to come across a beautiful woman and entice her with a plan because she's hopeless. All the men out here turned her down because her used up vagina wasn't a good enough price for a man to want to take her in. So, you know, a guy who's just fresh out of jail, he's all about a wicked man. He's all about taking and plotting and scheming. A lot of times that's what got these guys locked up in the first place. They're going to, and all in the spirit, I was meditating on this, and the spirit was revealing to me the things that are going to be going on. There's going to be times where not only will men spoil each other with the sword and start invading each other's homes, but there's going to be times where men are going to utilize women to finesse it. Like, there's going to be times where women are going to be, you know, indecent. And I'm going to talk about that too, because I witnessed something today as well. There's going to be times where women might be a little indecent, you know, might have that raggedy t-shirt, no bra on, you know, really loose around the collar, breasts kind of hanging out, that kind of deal. You know what I mean? And they might have on some, you know, raggedy pants, maybe some house pants or something, you know, to where she walks, you can really see how her flesh moves, her ass moves and things like that. And these things will overcome the simp. You're going to have men out here who's going to be putting these women on missions to go knocking door to door to ask for help. And, you know, you're going to have the simp who's going to look out that peephole and open his door and begin to engage this woman and begin to lust and desire after her. And he's not going to be in check over his emotions and over his carnality as a man. Because we do have to have discipline over our carnality and over our natural state. We got to be spiritual, not physical, not carnal. You know what I mean? And there's going to be times where women are going to be knocking door to door, you know, coming with the whole rap, saying, you know, the whole punchline, like, excuse me, sir, you know, is there any way, you know, do you have any rice or maybe a little bit of water? I'm just really in a bad situation. And this simp is going to be looking at her like, man, I might take her in. She's bad. Damn. You know, she might purposely, you know, have her worn out collar on her shirt hanging real low, purposely bending over so you can watch her breast swinging her shirt. Women do things like this. I'm not trying to be graphic here. You know, they're going to be trying to entice these simps. And you might have that guy who looks out the peephole, sees her, talks to her for 30 seconds. And while he's talking to her, you have a group of 2 to 3 marauders coming to the back door and blow his brains out. You know what I mean? Or he might bring her in the house and he might lock the door, but you know, women are smart. You know what I'm saying? They're retarded, but they're smart too when it comes to plotting. And we're going to get into that in scripture as well. But, you know, he might lock the door and she might find a way to say, you know, can I just go to the bathroom and freshen up before we do what we do? And she might sneak downstairs, unlock the door. And while she's blowing the simp's rod off or whatever, the marauders come in and kill him and take everything he has. A lot of men are about to be spoiled. And that's what's leading me to do this exhortation primarily to you, Akim. Don't be green, man. Don't be stupid out here, man. And if you do choose to take a woman, I'm kind of not willing to in my personal situation, because I already have 3 children and I already have a wife, and it's like the resources I have, I would like to keep it within what I already have, within my woman and my children. Another woman is going to be another menstrual cycle every month. Another woman is going to be more water, more food, and more than likely a lot of these women, they come with children, because a lot of these women are single mothers, and majority of them are not virgins as well. So you have to worry about STDs. Like in some cities like Atlanta, like over 50% of the women have HIV, man. 1 in 4 women have herpes and genital warts and stuff like that. The pharmaceutical industry, here's another thing to keep in mind. The pharmaceutical industry is also going to see a supply chain disruption. In the next 30 days, it might not be any more medicine. So people who might have these type of ailments, you might not be able to get I think it's like Valtrex for people who have herpes. You're not going to be able to get whatever HIV medication, and their sicknesses are going to begin to reveal themselves in these women as well as these men. So it's very important not to be running around like that out here and dealing with a lot of women, because it can really afflict your health in a time where these hospitals are eventually going to fold, and if not be overfold, but be overran. All it's going to take is just a couple doctors and nurses, and it's already been happening, to start coming down with this COVID. Even if it's like a false flag kind of deal, to where it's like falsified, somewhere down the line. You know what I mean? They're still going to be willing to things are just going to change. The healthcare system and the pharmaceutical industry is not going to be the same. So you really got to consider your health as well. Now, that a lot of these women are unclean, bro. They just are. And especially in Babylon, America, they're not down to serve you. They're not down. We're going to get into that. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, what's something else I wanted to say? Okay, I just went to 7-Eleven. My wife, she has like a issue. She's like anemic. She has low iron, so she always wants to eat some damn ice. It's kind of frustrating, because every time I leave the house, if like I don't come back with a cup of ice, she questions me as though I was supposed to know she wanted a cup of ice. I'm like, yo, you ain't say shit, so I ain't get it. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? You better get an ice tray out the freezer, get some ice cubes out the freezer. But she be liking that crushed ice from like a 7-Eleven, or some restaurants had that crushed or shaved kind of ice. But nonetheless, I went to 7-Eleven to get a couple things, and I went and got her a cup of ice, because I know that she likes to eat the ice. And I'm in there, and a young lady walks in. I just kind of, you look at somebody just to notice that see who's in your, to be observant, to see who's in your vicinity. So I looked, it was a young girl. I was like, okay, and I'm at the cash register, and then another woman walked in behind her, and I didn't even look, because you got to play everything off. You don't always want to let somebody know that you see them, but you want to be aware that they're there. You know what I mean? Because if somebody knows that you see them, if they have a plot or an agenda against you, then they have to change their plot on the fly. Just for example, this is the type of mind state we got to be in these days and times. Akim? But nonetheless, she came in the door to my left, the second woman. I didn't pay her no mind. And then when she walked behind me, I'm listening, and I hear the keys jingling and the feet, the shoes clacking on the ground. I was like, that's more than likely 9 times out of 10 a female, as my mind is observing the situation. And as she passed me, it started walking behind me and passing me to my right. I just kind of glanced over my shoulder to the right, and there was a chocolate, very fair looking woman. I guess she was the mother of the young lady who I walked in prior to her. And I didn't pay her no mind. I was like, okay, because I constantly check my carnality. And that's one of the bases of this lesson. In these last days in time, you must check and your carnality and be disciplined. And if you do take on a wife, there's certain there's a vetting process, okay? Or else you're going to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed. That whole bowing down to women and allowing them to run things and to rule over you, that's going to get you killed in these times. You're going to get finessed. You're going to get put to death. It's going to be bad for you because you have the wisdom and discernment. And if you don't, then you're not a man yet. That's something that you got to acquire from your youth, and it comes to maturity and age. It comes in age and it comes in experience, you know. But nonetheless, as I'm paying for my stuff, that dark-skinned mother who walked in secondly, and she was thick. She was nice looking, man. She walked up the line next to me. You know how you can feel when somebody's staring at you or feel when somebody's looking at you? You know? I felt the energy of her staring at me. So as I'm paying for the stuff, I'm turning to walk out to the left, but I kind of just look to the right to acknowledge her as I'm walking out. And man, her eyes were on fire. Yo, her eyes were just twinkling with open arms of acceptance, and you know, just her eyes screamed, "Shoot your shot, I'm yours." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Akiem, I didn't say a damn thing. I didn't say hi, bye, how are you, nothing. I just looked at her and I was like, oh shit, them eyes. I looked away, and in that split second where I looked at her, man, she looked good, man. Like, and this is the little things women do to try to entice men, and you're gonna see a lot more of this, Akiem. Women are going to do subtle things. Like this woman that I looked at for the brief second, she looked good, man. She had on a red t-shirt with some pants and some heels. And she intentionally didn't wear a bra. And you can see her nipples through her shirt. Like, women do shit like that to entice your natural masculine desire. The woman was created to be the desire of a man's eyes and the desire of your heart. You know what I'm saying? But what you got to do, and that has been the fall of man repeatedly. Adam and Eve. Eve goes to Adam. Hey, Adam, partake of this fruit. Oh, okay. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Samson and Delilah. Samson, tell me really, for real this time, if you really love me, what is the power of your strength? Dog, okay. You know, it's my hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? This has been the fall of man over and over and over. Just a simp spirit. And you gotta literally combat that, man. It's not a game, dog. Or you're gonna get caught slipping out here, Akiem. You get caught slipping. And there's some simps in these camps. It's some simps. Some of these brothers in the truth is simps. You know, you're afraid to offend a woman. You're afraid to tell a woman the truth. You're afraid to put your foot down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to be cruel to a woman per se. Nah, but you got to know that you are the man. You know what I'm saying? And that you are the protector and provider and the beneficiary of a woman. The woman is a beneficiary of you. You're not the beneficiary of her. She's the beneficiary of you. You are the benefit to her. You see what I'm saying? And women are beginning to figure this out. So they're going to be out here fishing. And the first guys that are going to fall is these simps, man. You know? Real talk. A lot of these guys are going to get used and abused and cast to the side and go and they're going to go out of their wits. Okay? They're going to go out and do some stupid shit to appease this woman and get herself killed. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. You know what I'm saying? All types of unlimited situations, which many are expressed in the scriptures that we should learn from. You know what I'm saying? But the times are coming, Akiem, where we got to be disciplined. I don't care if it's the most beautiful, the most gorgeous woman is walking down the street naked. You got to rebuke that. You got to rebuke that lust and desire. You got to look at that like it's a poison. Let's say somebody took okay, let me think of something. Let's say somebody took I don't know why. It's like, let's say somebody took a caramel apple, but the caramel was laced with cyanide. And let's say, I'm using that as an example because I go to Wawa's in the morning to get my little breakfast before I start work. And I always get the green apple slices with the caramel cup. So I just kind of been on caramel apples. But it's sliced up, you know. But let's say there was cyanide in the caramel, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's going to destroy you no matter how much you desire it. You know what I mean? Unless you're able to purify that, or unless that cyanide is not in that caramel. But you got to have the discernment to know the telltale signs of whether that apple is poisonous to you or not. The apple metaphorically being a woman, man. You know what I'm saying? I know that's kind of a weird, I know you Akim understand. That was kind of a random metaphor. But nonetheless, I'm going to just tell one more story, man. I was at work, and then I'm going to get into this lesson. We're going to get to some edification, man. It's going to be a beautiful lesson, I pray. And I pray it's been edifying thus far. But I was at work running out, what was it, Glen Burnie off of Route 3. Just, running out to my route in my work truck. And I go into this, I went to Wawa's to get my caramel apple cups. You have to get my green apple slices in my caramel cup with my cup of coffee, man. And I was speaking to one of the people who cooked the food in there, and it was an Edomite woman, and she was talking about, asking me what I thought about the checks, that the government's supposed to be sending out to everybody, and I explained to her, pretty much what the deal is, which all of us Akim should know right now, that's just a pacifier for the economy collapsing, and that the dollar bill is pretty much about to be the Slocky, I got indigestion, heartburn. But that dollar bill is about to be the new toilet paper, the new fire starter. You know what I'm saying? Just like in Venezuela when they was throwing their dollars on the street. What was it, last year, 2 years ago? And the famine hit them. The Akim, the man of the Lord, was saying that's coming here to Babylon, but it's going to be worse. That's the thing. The doctors, the women who have PhDs, the accomplished women, they turned to prostitutes, buddy. They started tricking that ass for a half pound of rice, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's about to come here. Women are not going to be able to prostitute themselves no more. And that's another thing I'm going to touch on. But I'm going to finish my story. I was talking to this Edomite woman who was working at Wawa's about pretty much, I gave her a rundown on the reality. I was telling her when it all comes down to it, if you don't have a husband or if you don't have a man, the best thing that you could probably do, I'm going to be real with you. I told her something carnal, but it is what it is. I'll just, the wise man can play the fool, but the fool can't play the wise man. The wise man can play the fool, but the fool cannot play the wise man. So I was speaking to her as a fool, but as a wise man knowing better. Because the best thing anybody could do is to cleave to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, because your swords can't deliver you. But Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai can protect you, hide you from the enemy, or put the enemy, or slay the enemy before your feet, or give you power over the enemy. Okay? So that's just the truth and wisdom in it. But I told her the best thing she can do is go ahead and get you a gun. Go ahead and get you a firearm. What else are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And nonetheless, the conversation was cool. She was real feminine, I'm not gonna say most white women, because all these women are pretty much they're off. But she was easy to speak to say the least. She wasn't offended at nothing I said. But nonetheless, I walked out the store, and meanwhile, when I'm walking out of the store back to my truck, I hear a little faint, "Excuse me, sir, excuse me." Like I hear that as I'm walking away, and I turn around, and it was this mad, beautiful woman. She was very nice looking. She was very fair, man. She had beautiful eyes. She was she wasn't high yellow, but she was like a lighter brown skin. She wasn't like a hot yellow red bone type of chick, but she was like a brown. It don't matter. She was a nice brown skinned Judite woman. She had very nice hazel eyes. She was in shape, petite, and she was like standing next to a 2020 Mercedes, man. Door open. And I peeped that secondly. I didn't even really notice the car at first. I just noticed what does this woman want? Why is she speaking to me? And I never noticed her when I was inside of Wawa's, but what gave it away was that while I was speaking to that Edomite woman in Wawa's about what's going on with the economy and how you should probably get a firearm to protect yourself if you don't got a man, they have like these touchscreen kiosks where people order food. And I noticed as I was talking to this Edomite woman ahead of me at my 12, at my 9 o'clock, literally right next to me was a yellow sweater. Okay, and that yellow sweater was that woman that was speaking to me. I just never looked directly at that woman while she was ordering. But I recall from my peripheral vision that this is the same woman who was inside ordering her food as I was speaking to the Edomite. And this woman was right next to me. Why? Because I'm observant. But nonetheless, when I turned around and I saw the sweater, I was like, oh, that's the chick who was right next to me ordering. She looks nice. I didn't pay attention to her inside the store because I was engaged in a conversation. But nonetheless, I entertained her. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, sis? What's happening? How you doing? And she was like, well, I overheard you talking, and, I went to these gun stores, and all the gun stores are sold out. everyone's kind of sold out, but I did find one place that said they had a couple shotguns left, and I just wanted to know how I could possibly go about it. Now, I don't live in Maryland, you know what I'm saying? I'm down over here in VA, but it's like a tri-state, so I live in the metropolitan area. I'm not too far from DC, I'm not too far from Maryland. But nonetheless, I expressed that I'm not sure of the Maryland laws, but I know it's a little bit more difficult to obtain a firearm. But we was talking, and she pretty much in so many words and in so many ways began offering her services and what she could do. She's like, well, I work at FedEx, I make pretty good money, I do have a child. I'm playing it off. Black man playing the fool, you know what I mean? I'm playing it off, like, okay, well, yeah, that's what's up. Not that your car or anything would matter, but she pretty much, opened her car, got into it real slow, made sure she let me see the whole inside of it. In so many ways, bartering, my ability to possibly be able to drive her car around. Not that I care, because I have two of my own. You know what I mean? I don't need that, nonetheless, but, she said, well, my phone's dead. Let me give you my card. And I'm not lying to you, man. She gave me her FedEx card. You know what? I meant to take a picture of it and block out her number and name so y'all don't think I'm lying. But she was a manager at FedEx. I forgot to take the picture of it and put it in the video just so I can, but I'm sure I don't got no reason to lie. Her name is Latoya. I'm not calling her, not going to call her because, no, I don't got to. I'm worried about me and mine. See, it's time to be picky, Akim. That's where I'm getting at. It's time to be picky. As soon as a woman says she got kids, disqualified. If she's not a virgin, disqualified. You got to start just like back for the last 30, 40 years. If you don't got a job, but if you don't make this amount of money, they was disqualifying you. If you wasn't a 6-figure, 7-figure brother, they was disqualifying you. If you didn't drive that certain type of car, they was disqualifying you. If you didn't look a certain way with a certain height, a certain weight, a certain build, they was disqualifying you. If you had debt, they was disqualifying you. If you had children, then they automatically will assume that you an ain't shit father and they would disqualify you. So it's time for you, Akim, to have standards. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about some of these standards that you must require out of these women. Okay? I just thought I'd chop it up with y'all. I know I kind of really... Salaki, I be getting indigestion and heartburn sometimes, sorry. Especially when I'm talking. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and get into this edification, okay? We're going to get into some scripture. I'm going to run through it, touch on some precepts. But, I pray to just be edifying and really that you, brethren, really take this to heart. This is a serious conversation for the brothers. These 2/3 simps and niggas, they're just going to die. They're going to be overtaken by, and a lot of the times it's going to be through a desire of a woman. They're going to fall, and we already know, what it is, but this is just a friendly reminder out of love. This is exhortation. Stop getting like this every time a woman bats her eye at you, every time she's outside, looking really good, showing a little bit more skin, doing little things like bending over in front of you and brushing up against you, because they're about to get thirsty, Akim. They're about to get thirsty, Isaiah, but it's literally going to come to the point where they're literally going to start grabbing you, taking a hold of you. Right now, keep in mind, things have not gotten real yet. And all the brethren who are in this truth, and we read these scriptures, and we study these scriptures, we know what's coming. Although they hope that everything goes back to normal, it's not. And the sad part is, in the event that things did blow over and society continued, these women would still... They would revert right back to the better option for them. Well, not the better option, because the better option is for them to cleave unto the Israelite man and be obedient and bow down and be in order. But, they're going to cleave on to what seemingly seems better to them, which is to have power over you. And they're going to go right back to that child support system. They're going to go right back to that, affirmative action job. They're going to go right back to, their degrees and holding it over your head. A lot of you women are about to be wiping your ass with your degrees. So when they run out of toilet paper, just take your degree and just hold it portrait style, and just take a knife or some scissors and divide it into about 4 or 5 sections. And the good thing about the degree is that unlike toilet paper, the moisture from your feces is not going to weaken the paper. Your fingers are not going to punch through it. You're not going to get crap under your fingernails. You'll be able to get nice, clean wipes out of that. And more than likely, you're probably going to want to throw it in the trash because it might clog your toilet. But nonetheless, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into it, Akim. Let's get right into it, Akim, okay? Beware of women in these last days, okay? Let's start with Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 26 through 29. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth Yahweh Shai shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. Yeah, these wicked men, these simps, they're going to be taken by this woman, you know, and in various forms and fashions, which we already discussed, you know, preliminary to me getting to the scriptures. But the woman's heart is snares and nets. She's immediately trying to trap you or see what she can extort from you. She doesn't look at you as a ruler or somebody to be over her. She looks at you as, what can she get out of you? How can you benefit her? This brother looks like he's been eating. I'm hungry. He looks healthy. I'm hungry. I need to get up under him so I can eat. And I'm going to bring as my sacrifice my used up vagina. That's more than likely what a lot of these women are going to bring, but it's going to take more than that. And what it's really going to take when it all boils down to it is where their heart is. You know what I mean? And where their character is. Because what it is to be a holy woman, like a real holy woman, is frowned upon in America. To be subservient to your husband and to serve him and love him, and for it to be seen to amongst other women will shame you and call you a pick-me chick or a weak woman. And, you know, these women condemn, you know, the servitude of men. Well, really, that's something you should really boast yourself in as a woman. You know what I mean? That's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of a woman. You know, but nonetheless, let's continue. Behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One among 1,000 have I found. Okay? So the preacher's counting one by one. Out of 1,000 men, he has found. One, okay? 1 out of 1,000 men he has found. But a woman among all those have I not. So out of 1,000 women, he ain't find it, okay? And what is it that he was trying to find? Lo, this only have I found, that Yahweh hath made man upright. But they have sought out many inventions. So man is naturally, as a man, you're naturally born with a spiritual compass. Okay, you're naturally inclined to understand and exhibit the spirit of wisdom. If you cling on to her, you know, you're able to receive that. You know, it's just by the nature and design that Yahweh Shai has done in creation of man. Because what? Man is the glory of Yahweh. Okay? And woman is the glory of man. And hair is the glory of a woman. You see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, they found one man who was upright out of 1,000, which really ain't much at all. You know, but no women were found upright. Women are malleable. They're pliable. They're able to be, they acquiesce to the leadership. So it's not that, like a lot of men be like, black women don't submit. Israelite women don't submit. It's not that they don't submit. They just don't submit to you. They submit to Babylon wholeheartedly. They're going to celebrate them holidays, man. They're going to go to church every Sunday. They're going to go to their affirmative action job and kiss the white man's ass. They're going to respect and honor him. They're just not going to respect and honor you. They're going to respect and honor this system. They're going to get their abortion because the system allows them to, because that's what they follow. I'm not talking about all women, but most of them. You know, a lot of them. The majority of them. We all know that generalities are made in consensus from the majority. You know what I mean? There's exceptions in everything, but you always rule by the majority. Okay? But let's go to Sirach chapter 25, verse 19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Okay, so not only will the judgment that Yahweh Shai has for sinners fall upon her to destroy her eventually, you know, hindsight 2020 Jezebel, which is the same spirit that a lot of these women have on them, but the portion of a man, and we just read that in Ecclesiastes the 7th chapter, verse 26, But a portion of a man will be her. A portion of a wicked man will be to fall upon her, for her to destroy him. Okay? But a man who pleases Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah will escape from her. Okay? Let's continue. Sirach 25, verse 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Remember that. You know? And the man's part in that is listening to the woman, being a simp. Adam was being a simp. Okay? Samson was being a simp. Out of all the things man have conquered, tamed, gained dominion over in this earth, there's one thing that leaves these men wide open to be destroyed. And that's the simp nature that's within us. And it's in us. The women are the desires of our hearts. You know, but you gotta overcome that so you don't die, man. You know what I'm saying? Because through her you're gonna die. You know what I mean? Unless she's in her proper order. Okay? And through you she shall live. Okay? And we're gonna talk about that. That's metaphor. And it does have some literal pretenses, because how did Noah, Ham, Shem, Japheth, Lot, how are all of them delivered? Through the men. Okay, we're gonna bring that. Okay, later on. But let's continue. Sirach chapter 36, verse 22. Okay, the beauty of a woman cheereth the countenance, and a man loveth nothing better. You know, and that's very true, man. To see a beautiful woman, you can have a crappy day, and it could be just a beautiful ass woman. A mad beautiful woman would just walk by. She don't even gotta be dressed like a harlot. You know, that's one misconception that a lot of these women don't understand, is that, you know, you don't have to expose yourself or dress like a whore. You can be I've seen classy and elegant looking women, and they just look beautiful. I'm like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? As a man, it cheers the continence. You can be having the cruddiest crap. All hell could be breaking loose. And you see a beautiful ass woman walking by, and it just makes you happy. Because we're men. We're men. See, woman's not really it's like they understand it, but not like we understand it as men, because of course we experience it firsthand. But not only do they understand it, because all wickedness is little but the wickedness to a woman, they will exploit that shit and exploit it, bro, and tear your ass up, knowing that you desire her. So you gotta not, in everything you do in these last days of time, you cannot pedestalize this woman and make it seem like she has any power over you, or that your desire overrules your judgment, man. Because then you will be exploited, bro. You will be out here doing some things that's not wise, okay, for the sake of pleasing and appeasing this woman, this servant. You understand? But let's continue, man. So we love women, man. See, a lot of these women, as soon as you bring some type of exhortation or judgment, you know, and if it's rooted in the scriptures, they don't care. The first thing they're going to say is, oh, you must be gay. You must hate your mama. They start bringing all this deflective BS. I'm like, yo, that has nothing to do with it. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is just the truth. But men of the Lord, man, we love us some women. We want multiple women. I mean, really, you know, that's kind of neither here nor there, because like I said, you know, I'm kind of, and it comes with age, but I'm kind of content with what I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 18 now. I just turned 30 a couple days ago, man. And I can only imagine the older Akim, the OGs, the 45 and up, the brothers touching 50s, 60s. You know, they've been there, done that. We've been there, done that. So this is really primarily an exhortation to you young brothers. You know, 25 and younger. You know, where you're still hot you're still hot in your rod, per se. You know, you still want to sow your wild oats. You know, pussy, it still means the world to you. After you have a couple kids and you done did it, man, 10, 20 years, you know, there's more to life than a woman. It's more, and that's really the sole purpose of a man, is to serve Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, as written in the book of Ecclesiastes. And you'll come to realize that once you realize that all these women eventually, as bad as they might be, yo, they all get old, they all hit the wall, most of them gain weight, everything falls, everything drops. I mean, I still, you know, we're men, you know what I'm saying? We're arguing. I still crack my wife like I did when I was young. If I'm a hitter, you know, I'm gonna make love to her, man. You know what I mean? So the love of a man is a very real love. You understand? I'm talking about real love, and we're commanded. You know what I'm saying? If you take on a wife, man, you can't put her away, save for fornication. So unless she's being sexually lewd, perverted, or in adultery, you can't put her away, man. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua hates divorce. He doesn't want us putting her away. So a man will stick by his woman. You see it all the time. That guy who, looks like a pretty decent guy in shape, and he got a big ass well in the house. Not to say that that's my case, but I'm just saying in general, these women all hit the wall. And that's when you begin to realize, you notice this as you get older when you're dealing with them. You know what I mean? That chick you was in high school with, she was the baddest thing moving. And then 2-3 kids later, man, she looks like shit. And what it is when it comes to women, what they need to do is settle down in their youth to acquire a man so that they have a help for them. I mean, the woman's supposed to be a helpmeet unto the man, but the man is really key to a woman's survival. So essentially, the man is really helping the woman, through taking her under his covering, but so that she can acquire this covering, so that in those days in which her beauty shall fade, she'll have that covenant with her husband that he will protect and love and provide for her. But these women in Babylon, they didn't care about that shit, bro. See, now they're starting to care about it because their world is being shooken. You dig what I'm saying? But let's continue, Akim. Sirach chapter 42, verse 12 through 14. Behold, not everybody's beauty, and sit not in the midst of women. Akim. And like I said, as you get when we were younger, to be around a bunch of women, to always be chilling with women, that was like a cool thing. You get the bitches per se. That's how you trying to run through them all. But as you get older, bro, women will give you a headache because their whole thought process and how they analyze things and how they internalize things is so off. It's like you just got to get away from them. You don't want to sit in a house with a bunch of women, bro. Your beards are gonna shed. You're gonna start growing gray hairs. It's going to be vexating to you. Unless you want to likewise been around women so much, and this is what actually happens, especially in the house of Judah, man, to where the men have been around women so much, they become effeminate and think like women, to where they actually fit in, with a bunch of women. But typically when I'm around a bunch of women, I don't really want to say much. I really don't want to be around them. They're vessels of confusion. They're like rivers of water. And a man is like a barrier, like the earth that cradles the water and guides that water. Okay, they have all this energy, but they have no guidance over it. Now, as a man, when you have just one woman, it's like, okay, you have a nice stream of water, and you as the barrier, I'm just saying, you as the rocks and the barrier is guiding this water. But let's say you multiply that one woman times 10, you got 10 women, bro. Just for example. You're going to have to be even more deeply rooted and more stable mentally, especially in the concepts of wisdom and domination and control, or you're going to be overran by that water. You're going to have a flood situation. You're going to have the levee down Hurricane Katrina situation. And guess what? These women are going to overthrow you and destroy you. You understand? And they're going to think they're right when they're doing it. So don't sit around the midst of women, bro. What men primarily need to do, always find a quiet place. Like right now, I'm in my car right now. Or I'll go to the kitchen table late at night. Like it's 12:20. You see, it's like after midnight. I got to wake up at 2:30 to go to work, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? I took a nap when I got off of work today. So I feel good, so I'll take a little nap again, but you got to find your quiet place, your sanctuary, wherever it may be, and meditate that the spirit may deal with you. Okay, that Yahweh Hashem Yahushua may sup with you. You know what I mean? And you just don't want to be around women, bro. Then you're not gonna be able to think straight when you're always around women. When things get real, like things are about to get real, the worst place you can be is around a bunch of women. It's not, you won't be able to think, you won't be able to plan. You're just gonna be pummeled with worries and concerns from these women who can bring you no solutions. They only bring you concerns and worries and complaints and nagging. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, let's continue. Verse 13, Sirach chapter 42. For from garments cometh the moth, and from woman wickedness. Bro, they're prone to wickedness. Just like a garment, a moth will get to it and get to eating it. These women, that wickedness will infiltrate them. Okay? It's just their nature. Better is the churlishness of a man than a courteous woman. Okay? A woman, I say, which bringeth shame and reproach. So better, churlishness is like the wickedness or forwardness of a man. Okay? A wicked and arrogant man is better than a courteous woman. A nice, friendly, courteous woman, okay? Why? Because woman brings shame and reproach. Who does she bring reproach to? She brings reproach to you. A woman will bring you to shame and reproach. That's what it's saying. Look at Samson, okay? Just perfect example, just clean cut. A woman will reduce you, man. And we're going to talk about that, okay? Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23 to 26. And also when it says woman bringing shame and reproach, what have women been doing since the feminist movement? Have they been uplifting and bragging about black men and how much they love us and how powerful we are and how great we are, and basically all the things that all the heathen women seek out of the Israelite man? Because the heathen woman will say all these things, but our own women won't. What they've been doing is going on Maury, making a reproach out of us, putting us to shame, telling Maury that we ain't shit, telling they don't need no man, telling the world we don't need our men, pronouncing it from the rooftop, pronouncing it from the mountain ledges. We don't need the Israelite man. We don't need the black man. Black man, black man, black man. Echoed through the canyons. And all that's changing, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's shame and reproach that they brought upon us, man. You know, and really, I believe if you read Hosea, the 2nd chapter, I believe it might be the 4th chapter. I wish I had the book in front of me, but nonetheless, the reason why we went through this is because the man is the woman of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and we turned off and was sacrificing the devils and taking on the ways of the heathen and allowing our woman to do the same. So Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai took our glory and turned our glory against us. You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, how does it feel? That's righteous judgment, man. Okay? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23 to 26. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law a light. Reproofs of instruction are the way of life, to keep you what? Reproofs and Salakia. Reproofs of instruction are the way of life, in order to what? To keep you from the evil woman, from the flattering tongue of a seductress. Do not lust after her beauty in your heart. Gotta read it slow for you simps, man. Do not lust after the beauty in your heart. Don't lust after her beauty, bro. And it's hard. And you consciously need to do this. And we gotta consciously do it every day. You know, you go out, well, I'm not gonna say go out into the cities no more, because the streets are getting shut in the streets. The doors are being shut in the streets. Ain't no more clubs, ain't no more going out to eat on dinner trucks. You're not gonna see a lot of women moving around in Merthyr no more. Put it like that, to say the least. You know, but, you know, once upon a time, you know, throughout the previous summers, you go out in the inner cities, man, and you just see women just looking good, man. A lot of them will be indecent. You know, they wouldn't be in their proper attire, which is an abomination, but nonetheless, as men, we see this and, you know, they look good. But we got to literally check ourselves and not lust after that, because that's her weapon against you. We're going to talk about that in the Testament of Reuben that I'm about to touch in. Then we're going to close out with the proper order. If you do choose to take a woman in the order she needs to be in, okay? And then we'll be done with the video. So I'm going to start running through this, okay? And we stop talking so much and read this scripture to y'all brethren, right? Okay? Do not lust after her beauty in your heart, nor let her allure you with her eyelids. Yeah, them sparkling, beautiful eyes they look at you with. Something about the eyes are the window to a soul, man. You look at a woman in her eyes, you can tell she wants you. She'll get that sparkle in them joints, man. You Akim know what I'm talking about. When she desires you. But don't let her allure you with that. Don't let her allure you with that, okay? For by means of a harlot, a man is reduced to a crust of bread. A lot of these brothers, a lot of these dudes who are preppers, who got all these resources, a lot of this shit's about to be reduced to nothing due to a woman. Whether a woman finding it being hypergamous, as women are, they're naturally hypergamous. You know, they was hypergamous in a lawful society, which was lawless, really. It was under Esau's laws, nonetheless. But how do you think that hypergamy is going to work in a lawless society, in a all hell breaks loose society? It's going to be anything goes, bro. These women are going to show you how savage they really are. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of these preppers are going to be reduced to nothing. Whether they exercise that hypergamy and, you know, come across somebody, that guy who has a little bit more than you, you know, approaches her, and she chooses up because her survival odds look better with him than you, guess what? All your stuff is going to become his stuff. Okay? You'll be surprised how things work. It could originally start out as you meeting or you coming across another person or another couple per se, or another individual, and starting to plan to put your heads together and be a unit and make little tribes. Because people are going to become tribal. People want to come together and start, you know, nation and nation are going to flee to one another in these times. The Asians are going to be with the Asians. The Israelites are going to be with the Israelites, so-called black people. The white man's going to be with the white man. It's going to turn into that. And the women of all these nations, man, are going to be exercising that hypergamy. When you're not around, your woman might be going to Jeff, who has the RV and the grill and all the propane and all the guns and all the bullets. And your ass, you know, you thought you was doing good because, you know, you prepped and you had a tent, you had plenty of rice, and, you know, you had a couple guns, and, you know, but the other guy has more. So she's going to peep that out, and within weeks, she's going to start, you know, betraying you behind your back. She might even entice him when that guy's wife is not around. He might be looking at your wife, and she might agree to lay with him behind your back. Might blow his rod off. And then once he starts hitting her, she might start, you know, putting him on to take all your stuff, man, and put you to death. Dude, things like this, betrayal is about to happen to you. A lot of these dudes are going to be reduced to the grave or to a piece of bread, man, to nothing. Okay? And that's how it's going to go. It's just going to be wicked out here. Okay? Let's continue. And an adulteress will prey upon his precious life. We just gave an example about that. Things like this is going to be going on, man. I pray that this is really edifying, because the spirit has really been on me about this topic. And it's even been exercising me and spiritually quickening me to the art of discipline concerning women, bro. Like, I haven't laid with my wife like in 2 weeks, bro. I'm not tweaking. I'm not geeking. I'm not pulling my hair out. I'm not freaking out about it. What you need to be practicing is seminal retention. Practice your semen retention. Get your testosterone levels up. It's time to be manly. Okay? That's the time that's the spirit that we need to be in. Be us men. Be ye men. Okay? Not no, you know, semen drained, you know, soft, effeminate, woman worshiping, weak, you know, pussycats. Nah, you don't want to be that. And a woman will turn you into a pussycat when she put that ass on you, you know, about 3-4 times in one day. You just want to eat and go to sleep. You don't want to fight. You don't want to rumble with. You don't want to come and go into combat. You don't want to, you know, do nothing and put that spirit of laziness on you. I'm trying to tell you, bro, your sperm is very, very important. Okay, you need to build that up. Not stop ejaculating. Stop letting loose your seed. But when it comes to discipline and expose on women, why not refer to the Testament of Reuben? This is out of the book of the 12 Testaments of the Patriarchs, the Testaments of the 12 Patriarchs, and I've revealed it and brought it out before. But Reuben had a lot to say, you know, which is prevalent to this topic. And we're going to run through it. Okay, we're going to run through it. I'm going to run through it with little interruptions, okay? But just listen. This is where all the meat is, okay? This is where the meat is at, okay? And this is why I was taken out of the Bible. Because the Roman papacy didn't want you reading this, okay? And I'm going to read it to you. I'm going to read it to you fluidly, clearly, and I pray it be edifying, okay? We're going to get right into this. The Testament of Reuben, chapter 1, verse 6-8. And behold, I call to witness against you this day, the God of heaven, that you walk not in the sins of youth and fornication, wherein I was poured out, and defiled the bed of my father Jacob. And I tell you that he smote me with a sore plague in my loins for 7 months. And had not my father Jacob prayed for me to the Lord would have destroyed me. For I was 30 years old when I wrought the evil thing before the Lord. And for 7 months I was sick unto death. So, as we all know, Reuben slept with Bilhah in her sleep. You understand? While Jacob had left to visit Isaac, his father. And Reuben had laid with Bilhah. You know what I mean? And after he laid with Bilhah, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua had plagued Reuben's loins. Essentially gave him an infection, an STD. You know what I'm saying? Burnt his ass. You know what I'm saying? It was a plague. And that's what's going to be happening these last days. Like I said earlier, man, a lot of you brothers for being simps, how about Yahushua gonna put that itch on your ass. The last thing you want to do is be walking around with a burning rod, a fire stick. A lot of these simps gonna have that fire stick for real, man, and it don't come with no remote either, man. And the last thing you want is all hell break loose, man, because of a damn dirty ass woman. You understand? But nonetheless, Reuben was in sin in this essence of this. But always chew the meat, spit the bones, and apply the meat where it can be applied, right? Let's continue to the Testament. Now, these are all excerpts, okay? I read the whole Testament and took out some parts to read to y'all. Testament of Reuben, chapter 1, verse 12 through 13. 7 spirits, therefore, are appointed against man, and they are the leaders in the works of youth. And 7 other spirits are given to him at his creation, that through them should be done every work of man. So he talked about the 7 spirits. You should read this for yourself if you want to learn about all the 7 spirits that are appointed to men and things like that. But I'm just reading what is prevalent to this topic. So we're going to skip to the 7th, okay? And that is at Testament of Reuben, chapter 1, verse 20 through 21. The 7th is the power of procreation and sexual intercourse, with which, through love of pleasure, sins enter in. Wherefore it is the last in order of creation, and the first in that of youth, because it is filled with ignorance, and leadeth the youth as a blind man to a pit, and as a beast to a precipice. It's very true. That's why I was referring earlier, that this exhortation is going to be to a lot of you young, goofy Akim, okay? You young Akim who haven't cooled down yet and opened and bent. It just takes time. But practice this discipline now, okay? Practice the discipline now, man. These women are not everything, bro. I'm trying to tell you. You can easily, if you just focus your mind on the right things, you can easily go without sex for months, bro. And it will actually empower you, and you'll be empowered by it, both physically, spiritually, and mentally. Because women won't be able to finesse you with their body. You understand? I'm telling you some real stuff, Akim. But let's continue. And it affects mostly the young. A lot of young men destroy their lives because of them slinging their rod everywhere in their youth. And then, what happens? They have 3-4 baby mamas, and all of them are suing them for child support. Not to say that the Akim is wrong, because it's in us to be polygamous. It's in us to plant our seeds. Our forefathers had multiple wives. Jacob had 4. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, although things are lawful, it's not always expedient. You got to be wise, man. You're living in a kingdom, although it's falling and it's beautiful. You're living in a kingdom in which these women can extort you for your money, and that's happened to a lot of brothers. A lot of these brothers coming home from jail are coming home from child support arrears, and they're going to pay these women a visit, man. Yeah, that's just part of the judgment. Yahushua going to let them get their revenge. But nonetheless, a lot of the men in their youth have, if there's some brothers out there who might be burning or have some type of STDs, man, they more than likely they caught that in their youth. Like it says, because it's filled with ignorance and leadeth the youth as a blind man to a pit. That discipline comes with time and experience with women in general. You understand? But let's continue. Testament of Reuben, chapter 1, verse 33 to 38. And now, my children, love the truth, and it will preserve you. Love the truth, man. Women are wicked, dude. Love it. Embrace that. It's the truth. Stop worshiping them, dude. Stop letting them lead you. Stop trying to think like them. Stop considering everything they say and all their opinions and stuff, man. You're the circumspect one. You're the one with wisdom. You're the one with knowledge. You're the glory of Yahweh and Yahushua. You're the leader. You're the salvation. Okay, well, really, Yahweh Shai Mashiach is the salvation, but as it's written, we're going to get to it, women are saved through childbearing, and the man is the head of the household, and the man is the head of the wife. So if the man is in order, Yahweh Shai will spare his household, will spare his wife, his woman. Okay? And we got examples of that in the scriptures. And I talked about it earlier. I'm not going to talk about it again. Let's continue. Hear ye the words of Reuben, your father. Pay no heed to the face of a woman. I'm going to say it slow. Pay no heed to the face of a woman, nor associate with another man's wife. Okay? Nor meddle with affairs of womankind. Don't have nothing to do with what they're into, man. Don't have nothing to do with it. It's all confusion, okay? Let's continue. For had I not seen Bilhah bathing in a covered place, I had not fallen into this great iniquity, which was him sleeping with his father's wife, okay? For my mind taking in the thought of the woman's nakedness, because he was beholding at her, staring at her, imagining how soft her booty was, imagining how them titties would be swinging if you hit it from the front, imagining how, I'm telling you, bro, we're being graphic, but we're men, okay? Now, I'm just keeping it real. This is the things he was thinking, which caused him to fall into that iniquity. Why? Because he was beholding another woman's beauty, and especially if she's the wife of another man. That's already adultery of the heart, okay? And it's going to manifest. That which is within the heart manifests itself, okay? True colors begin to shine, like that song. True colors shining through. Yeah, it's going to shine through. You're sitting there lusting, eventually you're going to make a move, and that's what Reuben did. And that's why he's extorting his offspring, okay, concerning this. Now let's continue. For my mind, taking in the thought of the woman's nakedness, suffered me not to sleep until I had wrought the abominable thing. Didn't I just say that? He was meditating on it. He couldn't even sleep at night. He was just meditating on it like, man, come on, man. You know the women in the ancient were bad. You know all of Jacob's wives were bad. You know they was just beautiful. Bro, our woman, dude, with all this GMO and all. If you want to, okay, let me give you an example. The 9-piece, the 10-piece you see here in Babylon, America, leave the country. Go to South America. Okay? Get out of America and travel, and you'll see in lands where women live off the land and live naturally, and they more so walk everywhere they go, and everything's more healthy. They are built different, dude. Like, you see a 10 or a dime piece here, you know, once every, depending on where you live, you might see once a day or one of them every week. There are places where they're everywhere. They're like everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's many of them. They're plentiful. Okay, so imagine how it was back in the ancient, when everything was organic. You know what I'm saying, man? Women were beautiful, man. You know, but nonetheless, Reuben was in wickedness staring at her. And he couldn't even sleep at night. He was trying to go to sleep, and his rod was throbbing. He just wanted to commit that abominable thing. And he did. Okay? Let's continue the testament of Reuben, chapter 1, verse 39 through 41. For while Jacob, our father, had gone to Isaac, his father, when we were in Eder, near the Ephrath in Bethlehem, Bilhah became drunk and was asleep, uncovered in her chamber. So Bilhah got tight. And that's a lack of, see, and that's careless. That shows the carelessness of women too. You know what I'm saying? Because she knew Jacob had sons. You know what I mean? She should have been covering herself, but nonetheless, that's a temptation. Just like Eve knew better. You know what I mean? But Yahweh is always going to, he holds man and woman accountable, but he's always going to bring that whipping stick on the man the hardest, man. And at first, initially, because we should know better. Don't give in to that shit. You know, but she was bathing, probably butt naked. Probably knew she was being watched, because women are just, woman, ain't no wickedness like the wickedness of a woman. She's probably bending over, washing her feet extra well while Reuben was in the bushes staring. Probably knew he was there. You know? Then she got mad, stupid, shit-faced drunk. Hope maybe knowing that he might inquire and then she made sure she went to sleep naked. Booty propped up probably. Dude, I'm just being honest, because that's the shit women do, bro. They when they went out and about, they're switching their ass. You know, I'm just telling you, we're keeping it real here. We're keeping it gutter here, man. We're not sugarcoating shit. But we know that Reuben, who was plagued, Reuben was plagued, and Bilhah in a way was punished as well. Okay, we're going to talk about that because Jacob never laid with her again. Jacob never laid with her again. Jacob never went into her again. You understand? But nonetheless, Bilhah went to sleep in her. She got real shit-faced drunk and went to sleep in her nakedness, man. Let's continue. Bilhah became drunk and was asleep uncovered in her chamber. Having therefore gone in and beheld her nakedness, see, so that lust, that demon of lust was on Reuben, man. I wrought the impiety without her perceiving it, and leaving her sleeping, departed. And forthwith an angel of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai revealed to my father concerning my impiety, and he came and mourned over me, and touched her no more. What? And Jacob touched her no more. That's how far gone these women are. They think that they can come in these days to come. They don't think that their virginity means shit. Yo, a woman's only supposed to know you, bro. So if a woman, I'm not saying you should, because look, the scripture even say a harlot shall make it in the kingdom before a lot of these wicked people, man. A lot of these people who hear us and believe it's not a harlot and a prostitute going to make it in the kingdom before then. None of us are without sin, including these women. But what I'm saying is that virginity was an important thing, and it is an important thing. So much so that in the past, if another man went into you women, he would never go into you again. You're unclean. You're defiled. And there's a lot of you women who have been defiled repeatedly. You've been defiled by not just a one night stand type of thing, but you've been defiled in 10 different ongoing relationships. Each of them lasted 6 to 8 months to a year. Some of them 2 years. So not that this dude popped you once, but these various dudes were popping you repeatedly, nutting in you repeatedly, coming in you repeatedly, DNA in you repeatedly. That's why a lot of these women are on Salaki, I'm getting excited. That's why a lot of these women are on Wellbutrin and other antidepressants and anti-angry medications, dude, because they got all that DNA in them, dog. But a woman, once a man has gone into her, and then the second man goes in, it's like, nah, you're not supposed to take her. You're not supposed to go into her. But because we live in the foul-ass Babylon America, a lot of us Akim have used possessions. It's a shame for you to have a woman and another man to be like, yeah, I fucked your bitch. You know what I'm saying? There's no further denigrating and pardon the language. We just keeping it real here, Akim. It's no further denigrating and painful thing than for a man, for you to know that you shared your woman with other men. And that's just the truth and reality, that feeling of pleasure and deep intimacy and spiritual bond and connection that you feel with your woman, yeah, another dude felt that too, dog. And that's messed up, including me, Akim. My woman wasn't no damn virgin. None of our women were virgins. Let's be real here. I mean, look, it might be an Akim or two that might have, had a virgin and is still with that woman, but let's be real, that's not the case, man. These women are defiled, man. They've been deceived with Esau's sexual liberty, and dating and, college and things like that, which turns them out. But to get back on topic, man, let's go to Testament of Reuben chapter 2. Let's go to chapter 2, y'all. We almost there. And I may hit something real deep in the next portion. Okay? Once again, Reuben says, pay no heed, therefore, my children. Salakia. Pay no heed, therefore, my children, to the beauty of women, nor set your mind on their affairs. Read it again for the people in the back. Pay no heed, therefore, my children, to the beauty of women, nor set your mind on their affairs. But walk in singleness of heart, in the fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, that's our only purpose of pertaining to Ecclesiastes. To serve the Lord. That's your purpose as a man. Not to serve these hoes, man. Not to worship these women and worship the feeling of an orgasm, man. That shit weakens you, man. And I'm going to bring this out. I meant to get the excerpt and type it, but I'm going to bring it out right now. In the Apocalypse of Abraham, is revealed, Yahweh revealed to Abraham that through desire comes lawlessness. Through desire and pleasures come lawlessness, man. So life is not always about feeling good, bro. That's what I'm saying. And that's where a lot of women go off, because they're all about comfort and feeling good. But you as a man, it's about being strong. Not only in your faith, not only physically, but spiritually, in every way, to be strengthened and reinforced. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai will make you this strong, reinforced man of good courage, bravery. Okay? Our forefathers were very brave men. You know, if you read the Testament of the Patriarchs and get up there with Levi and Judah and the things they used to do, man, it ain't no joke, man. We come from a lineage of very strong, the strongest, the most renowned men on the face of the earth. We are of that lineage. You understand? But let's continue. Pay no heed, therefore, my children, to the beauty of woman, nor set your mind on their affairs, but walk in singleness of heart, in the fear of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and expend labor on good works, and on study. Study the scriptures, dog. That's all you should be doing. Studying and on your flocks, okay? So read your scriptures, do your labors, go to day, pray, allow the spirit, you know, the set aside spirit of Ruach HaKodesh to seal you and to minister to you the truth regarding all things, and meditate, man. That's how you commune and sup with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. That's what we should be doing, okay? And we do this until the Lord give you a wife, whom he will, okay? That ye suffer not as I did, okay? Because Reuben suffered for what he did. Force not the course of the river. All you Akim who haven't had women, trust me, you're about to have your pick of the litter. And all I got to say is don't sell yourself short, man. Don't get with no single mother, dude. Don't get with no woman who, and if you're a man of the Lord, and I'm just one more thing I'm gonna bring out. If you're a man of the Lord grants you the spirit of discernment, and you can kind of look, and people, okay, I'm gonna say this, people's spiritual conditions. Now, only if you're a man of the Lord, you can discern this. People's spiritual condition shows on their countenance. Okay, I can't explain it, but if you're a man of the Lord, you can look at a woman and you can tell, oh yeah, she done ran through by a lot of guys. Just on, it's weird. I can't explain it, but when you look at another woman, you be like, oh, she's pure. She has some purity in her life. It's hard to explain. It's like a vibrance. When somebody's in their purity and somebody's upright, they have more of a vibrance to them. Okay, you know, but a lot of women who've been ran through, and that's why they wear so much makeup. That's why a lot of whores and harlots and women who run through a lot of penises and have a lot of DNA in them from different men, they gotta wear makeup or they look like zombies, dude. I'm trying to tell you, the countenance of a woman shows through her skin, and men too. Nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? That's why the scriptures say the wise shall shine as the firmament, man. You know, but nonetheless, let's continue. Oh, but like I was saying, for all you Akim who might not have women or wives, trust me, you're lucky. But nonetheless, at this point, you're going to have your pick of the litter. Don't sell yourself short and really pray on it. Pray for a wife. And you might not be sent a virgin, but you might be sent a woman who is in her right mind, man. Being honest with you. You know, primarily you want a virgin, but you might get a woman who might have been with just one guy, and that guy did her wrong and left her, and she never had sex again. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know what I mean? You never know what you're going to get, but as long as her heart is right, you know, and she's humble towards you, and her mind's in the right place, that's what's going to matter. You know, but nonetheless, let's continue. Okay, and focus on study and on your flocks until the Lord give you a wife, whom he will, that you suffer not as I did. For until my father's death, I had not the boldness to look in his face or to speak to any of my brethren because of the reproach. Yeah, all the brothers, Jacob, Levi, Manasseh, Naphtali, Zebulon, all the patriarchs was looking at Reuben like, man, every time Reuben probably said something, it was like, man, shut the fuck up, Reuben. They're probably going on him. Not for real, like, because he's telling you. I'm going to read it again. For until my father's death, I had not the boldness to look in his face or to speak to any of my brethren because of the reproach. Yeah, man, he was shamed. He was putting the shame behind that. You know? He was shamed behind that, man. His brother, the patriarch, his brothers probably beat the shit out of him for that, dog. Because that was cruddy. But Jacob loved his son, man. Jacob forgave him. Our people always been twisted, bro. We really look into the nation of Israel, even to the patriarchs. They sold Joseph into slavery. You know what I'm saying? Reuben slept with his father's wife. You know what I'm saying? Judah married a Canaanite woman, and his wife was wicked and caused both his sons to get put to death by the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like our people. Oh, then then Judah turned around and slept with Tamar. Then Judah turned. Look, Judah married a Canaanite woman. You got to read the Testament of the Patriarchs, man. Some of it's in the Bible, but the Testament of the Patriarchs goes deeper into it. Reuben married a Canaanite woman whose father was like a king or something like that. So he got a lot of inheritance by marrying her. Okay, she was a Hamite, and Reuben had 2 sons with her. Okay, Onan, and it's escaping me what the other one's name was, but it was the one whose brother. Okay, so they were wicked. Judah's sons was wicked. Okay, and this teaches you not to have children with any type of woman, bro. And that gives you Titus chapter 4 precept that we should be putting our seed in women who are of the tribe of our fathers, and likewise, you women should be giving your wombs to the men of the tribes of your fathers. You understand? But nonetheless, because we are a holy seed. But nonetheless, Judah had married a Canaanite woman, had 2 sons, and got his sons a wife. Well, got his son a wife, and the first son wouldn't lay with her, and he was wicked. So Yahweh Shem Yahushua put that nigga to death. And then, of course, by the law, the brother had to take his deceased brother's wife. His brother had to take the wife because the first brother died. And the brother was having sex with her, and he spilled his seed on the ground. He came on the floor. And then Yahweh Shem Yahushua killed that nigga. And then Judah was out, I think he was traveling, and it was a custom, and it was a heathen custom for a newlywed to like be at the gates of the city and prostitute herself. I know it sounds crazy, but that was going on even then. And Judah had tricked off and simped out and tricked off on this woman whose face was covered and slept with her and gave her his diadem, which is like his tribal staff. You know, his tribal it's a lot of value, man. That's the ornament of your tribe. He gave that to her and shit. Judah did this simping. You know what I'm saying? And then come to find out it was his son's wives, the same wife from both his sons. So yeah, man, this goes really, really deep. Our people have been twisted from the beginning. You can't look at our people today and say that we ain't the house of Israel, dog, because we twisted, man. But you know, Yahweh Shah's gonna redeem us. He's gonna put everything in order. He's gonna renew the covenant, put his law, statutes, and commandments in us, man. But I thought I might touch on that, and I might do a video of that on another day. But I'm just kind of going where the Spirit lead me. But nonetheless, man, let's continue. Testament of Reuben, chapter 2, verse 6-8. Therefore, my children, I say unto you, observe all things whatsoever I command you, and ye shall not sin. For a pit unto the soul is the sin of fornication, separating it from Yahweh and bringing it near to idols. Solomon, right? Because it deceiveth the mind and understanding, and leadeth down young men into Hades before their time. For many have fornication destroyed, because though a man be old or noble or rich or poor, he bringeth reproach upon himself with the sons of man, and derision with Beliar. Okay, and Beliar is Sheol, is hell. That's what is synonymous with. Neither here nor there. This video ain't about that. So if you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, hey, on you. Chew the meat, spit the bones. Let's go to Testament of Reuben, chapter 2, verse 12-23. I'm gonna burn through this, and like I said, chew the meat and spit the bones. There's some brothers in the body that just don't want to believe in certain things, but I'm gonna read it because it's concerning what we're talking about, okay? And very much so. This portion right here has a lot of meat in it. So listen up, Akim, and pay attention for edification's sake. Testament of Reuben, chapter 2, verse 12-23. For if fornication let me start all over. For if fornication overcomes not your mind, neither can Beliar overcome you. And I said Beliar is synonymous with hell, okay? For evil are women, okay? For evil are women. One more time for the people in the back. For evil are women, my children, And since they listen up, okay? And since they have no power or strength over man, they use wiles by outward attractions, makeup, maybe it's Maybelline, okay? That they may draw him to themselves, okay? In whom they cannot bewitch by outward attractions, him they overcome by craft, okay? For moreover, concerning them, the angel of the Lord told me, the angel of the Lord, the angel of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai told Reuben, okay, and taught Reuben, okay? I'm going to repeat this. For moreover, concerning them, the angel of the Lord told me and taught me that women are overcome by the spirit of fornication more than men, and in their heart they plot against men. One more time for the people in the back. I'm repeating myself so you internalize this shit. The angel of the Lord told me and taught me that women are overcome by the spirit of fornication more than men, and in their heart they plot against men, and by means of their adornment, their makeup, their rings, their necklaces, their high heels, the way they dress, their hair, all of that, okay? And by the means of their adornment, they deceive first their minds. So these women wear so much makeup and shit every day, every time they leave the house, they really be thinking they bad. They be thinking they a 10, but they really be like a 4. You see it all the time. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to take away all these things that they're adorning themselves with. It's written in the book of Isaiah. Okay, they're going to lose everything. Okay, but let's continue. By means of their adornment, they deceive first their minds, and by the glance of the eye, instill the poison. Woo! That's why you can't be locking eyes with these women. The poison getting instilled in you. That simp spirit, she's going to summon your inner simp, okay? And then, through the accomplished act, they take them captive. So how does she give you that booty after giving you that sexy look that made you come up to her and get her number? And with her licking her lips and fluttering her eyelids, and she turn around later on that night and then spread them legs, arch that back for you, let you go deep in her, and then guess what? She takes your ass captive, boy. And then through the accomplished act, they take them captive. For a woman cannot force a man openly, but by a harlot's bearing. Whoa. For a woman cannot force a man openly, but by a harlot's bearing, she beguiles him. Through the ways of a prostitute, she fools you, man. And that's what they do. That's what I was talking about. They bend over in front of you. They wear certain provocative clothing. Like the woman I saw on 7-Eleven today, I like dark-skinned women. She was nice. She had no bra on. Her breasts were just sitting nice and natural. The nipples were poking through her shirt. No, you got to rebuke that simp spirit. You got to say, get out of here. Get out of here, you simp. Get out of here, simp spirit. You got to push them back down in you, man, and be dominant and be a man, yo, not be weak for women, okay? Flee, therefore, fornication, my children, and command your wives and your daughters that they adorn not their heads and faces to deceive the mind, okay? You should be telling your wives and your daughters, stop painting their face with makeup, okay? Flee, therefore, fornication, my children, and command your wives and your daughters that they adorn not their heads and faces to deceive the mind. Because, here we go, every woman who uses these wiles have been reserved for eternal punishment. Y'all, you bitches who like painting your face, okay, and like having all that braided hair and acting arrogant and haughty, and using this to lure in men through a falsified mask of your beauty, that's witchcraft, and you're going to be in the lake of fire for that. And if this sounds familiar, that was a portion of the lake of fire video that I read to y'all, that 3-hour video. If you watched it, you will see how this is a precept for one of the judgments. Okay, for one of the judgments for women was to be hung by their hair and by their neck and be burnt up, man, in that lake of fire. Okay, when Yahweh Hashem Yahushai brings the white throne judgment, and those were the women with braided hair tried to seduce men. Okay, and what happened to all the simps? All those simps that these women are beguiling with their outer beauty and with the painting and markings of their faces and with their hair. All the simps. What was their judgment? Do Akim remember? Do y'all remember what their judgment in the lake of fire was? To be hung by their rods, to be hung by their loins, to be tied up and hung by their loins and put above a fire, man, and tormented. Okay, so the whore gets judged, and you simps are gonna get judged, and that's an eternal torment. Okay, you're gonna be in that lake of fire, man, for chasing after these whores, man. You better stop it. Save your soul, man. Save your soul, bro. Save yourself, black man. SYSBM. Save yourself, bro. For real, it's not worth it. Now let's read. Let's continue. For thus, okay, let me just go back one more time. Flee therefore fornication, my children, and command your wives and your daughters that they adorn not their heads and faces to deceive the mind, because every woman who useth these wiles hath been reserved for the eternal punishment. For thus they allured the watchers. You got to read the book of Enoch. It's also in the second book of Adam and Eve, chapter 20. Okay? For thus they allured the watchers who were before the flood. For as these continually beheld them, they lusted after them. This is talking about the fallen angels, man. Even though some of you don't want to believe it. I mean, don't believe it. I can't make you believe it. I'm just reading it to you. It's all over the place if you read. Okay? Who were before the flood, as these continually beheld them, and they lusted after them, and they conceived the act in their mind. For they changed themselves into the shape of men. This is what the angels did. And appeared to them when they were with their husbands. Okay? So these women were already with their husbands. So that's why I said in the scriptures that from the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Because the woman cheated on our men. The woman cheated on mankind with angels, dog. These women had husbands, dude. And they cheated on their husband, was getting slammed by the rebellious angels, dog, for real. And it brought upon the Nephilim, the same offspring in which David slew. Because not all the Nephilim died in the flood, man. They continued through the bloodline of Canaan. Okay? And that's how there was a giant around the time that of King David, in which he slew. But that's where it all came from, man. These giants was tearing shit up. All the bloodshed, it was eating people alive. Sinning, man, that's a whole nother story. I should get into that, the book of Enoch, man. It talks about it explicitly. A lot of bloodshed and death came because these women opened up their legs to these angels, man. You know what I mean? But the angels changed their form into men. And the scriptures also tell you that can happen, because it says, be careful who you entertain, because you might entertain angels unaware. Be careful how you treat men, because you might be entertaining angels unaware. Roughly paraphrasing. Okay? But nonetheless, let's continue. And the woman, lusting in their minds after their forms, gave birth to giants. For the watchers appeared to them as reaching unto the heavens. Beware, therefore, of fornication, and if you wish to be pure in mind, guard your senses from every woman. That is very important. Beware of fornication, and if you wish to be pure in mind, guard your senses from every woman, dude. From every woman, dude. And we're going to talk about the only exceptions, okay? We're going to get to these exceptions. And command the woman likewise to not associate with men, that they also be pure in mind. For constant meetings, even though the ungodly deed be not vowed, even though you're not hitting her or having sex with her, okay, are to them an irremediable. Let me read it again. For constant meetings, even though the ungodly deed be not wrought, are to them an irremediable disease. So what that means is that if you keep spending time with a woman, even though y'all ain't have sex or you ain't pop her or slut her out, it's going to be like a disease to her. It's going to eventually happen. She's going to want you. You know what I'm saying? That's just what's going to happen. Okay? And to us, a destruction of Beliar and an eternal reproach. So she's going to constantly inch her way into having sex with you, even especially if it's another man's wife. She's still going to do it. She's a woman, right? That's why the scriptures say for a man not to sit with another man's wife. That's law. We're not even supposed to sit and talk, have conversations with another man's wife at all, because her heart can incline to you like a disease that she can't get rid of. It's just going to happen. An irremediable disease, okay? And it's going to be a destruction to you when your weak simp ass falls for her advances. Okay? It's going to be an eternal reproach. Okay? For in fornication, there's neither understanding nor godliness, and all jealousy dwelleth in the lust thereof. Okay? Now I'm going to close this video out with the exceptions, man. If you're going to deal with women, what is the exception? Okay? The exception is that you got to put her in her proper order, dude. That's the only way. If she's not in that proper order, don't deal with her, or she's going to destroy your ass. That's just what it's going to be, bro. And you might say, oh, that's harsh, or, oh, not all of them are. Okay. Do you, bro. Do you. And I pray that doesn't befall you, man. But these words don't lie, man. The word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua don't lie, bro. The testimony of the forefathers don't lie, bro. They know more than your ass. Okay? Let's continue. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. We are now in these days. Beautiful days. But days in which discipline and caution and discernment must be implemented, okay? As men, okay? And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. What does that mean? We should all know by now. This has been getting prophesied for the last decade, at least longer than that. Okay, that this day was coming and it's approaching. None of us knew it was going to be by a virus, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man, working mysterious ways. But nonetheless, that's how he's bringing down Babylon and how the enemy is going to come down with his great wrath. Okay, and meanwhile, these women are just vulnerable. They're just sitting ducklings in a pond, wingless, unable to fly away. Nah, these women are chickens, literally. They're scared, shitless like a chicken. They're chickens. They're scared and they can't fly away. They can't fly away from their problems, Akim. But you know, you can. You know what I'm saying? Metaphorically, you can make do. That's what I mean. As men, we can make things happen. We can, we're resourceful, you know. But nonetheless, these women know this, and they're going to come to us bartering their vehicles, bartering food, bartering their talents, what they can do, because vagina alone, especially a used up one, sell yourself short if you want. You can have a demon clinging to you, ready to betray you, ready to kill you in your sleep. And whew, man, don't, bro. Have a lot of discernment in these days and times. Pray for that spirit of discernment. Okay? They're going to say, only let us be called by thy name. What does that mean? When you get married to a woman, I shouldn't have to break this down. She takes on your name. Okay? She becomes an extension of you. Okay? And we're going to talk about what that means. And we're going to wrap that up in the next precept. I'm not going to spend too much time on trying to explain what that means. It means she wants to be your wife. She wants to bend over, spread them, and let you put your seed all in her and put your spirit all in her so she can be under your covering, because that's a covenant. And these women know it's a covenant, because a lot of women will try to trap a man after they have sex with him, because they know that that's a covenant, and that man in a certain way of nature is obligated to take care of her, unless she's an utter prostitute and an utter whore. And even then, that covenant changes from protection to financial gain. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, it is about to turn to nothing. You women are about to get nothing for that vagina. Nothing at all. A lot of you women are going to be taken. You're going to get hefty levels of soreness. That's going to be your payment in the days to come, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is about to pull an Ezekiel 23 on y'all asses. Y'all about to be taken. Y'all about to be ravished, man. It's about to be bad out here. Houses spoiled. But let's continue. That's not what this lesson's about. Sirach chapter 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. I repeat, he that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. These women are possessions, dude. See, the simp, this is new to the simp. This is new to this woman. She's under your authority. She's an extension of you. Okay? What else can I say? You begin your possession when you have a woman. You possess her. She's yours. Like you possess your car. Like you possess your house. I mean, theoretically, even though the banks really possess it, but I'm just saying, in the event that you paid this stuff off, it's yours. And that's why women in the ancient world were paid for. You had to pay a dowry of virgins for your wife, man. Because you're buying your wife, you're buying your helpmeet. She's supposed to make your life easier. is something worth investing in if the woman's in her right mind. If she's not, then she's not worth investing in. Okay? Let's continue. A help like unto himself and a pillar of rest. Okay? He that getteth a wife beginneth the possession. A help like unto himself and a pillar of rest. 1 Timothy, now these are the stipulations, okay? These are the stipulations to a woman being worthy to be your possession, okay? 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 11 through 15. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. She must shut her mouth. She must shut her mouth. She must shut, one more time. She must shut her mouth, bro. She has to, okay? But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over a man, but to be in silence. Once again, she has to shut her mouth. If she does not know how to be quiet and be reserved and shut the fuck up in the times that we're coming into, you're going to be miserable, Akim. You're going to be miserable. You're going to have it's hard enough dealing with a woman with a big ass mouth now, bro. You shouldn't even have to tell her to be quiet. A woman should know, deep down inside, a woman should know that she is to be seen and not heard. Okay? And that's one of the rudiments to what to what needs to be a qualification for you to take a woman up under you in these days to come, okay? And why is this? Why does she need to shut her mouth and do not have no type of authority over you, okay? Or lead anything, okay? In your tribe or in your group or in what you're doing in these last days and time. Let's see why. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, here we go. She shall be saved in childbearing. Her salvation is linked to her pushing forth your children and being an extension of you. You see what I'm saying? Man is the glory of Yahushua is the glory of Yahweh, and man is the glory of Yahushua, and the woman is the glory of the man. It's a chain thing. It's, you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is, okay? And if not, why are we reading that she shall be saved in childbearing? What is your interpretation of that? Okay, you woman done trying to answer? Give your deflections? Okay, but you are to learn in silence with all subjection. So we're going to go back to shutting the fuck up. Be quiet, okay? You will be saved in childbearing. Okay, not only in childbearing, but if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. You need to be in good faith in your husband. You need to be in good charity, okay? And you need to be in holiness and sobriety, okay? And you're going to be having kids, okay? You're going to be having children. You're going to be pushing forth some children, okay? And that's an honor. That's an honor to bear the children of the men of the Lord. Like, a lot of these women act like having children is just messed up. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with these women, yo? But let's continue. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 8 through 9. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. The man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man. Okay? Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Man, I got a typo right there. I'm just going to leave it. That's what it's supposed to be. The woman was not created. The man was not created to help the woman, man, to be a helpmeet to these women. Even though naturally we are in the natural order because we're the protection, the provider. They're called by our name. But what I'm saying is this. The woman was literally created for you, man. As a man, the woman was created to help you. That was the whole purpose of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua creating her. Solely to help you. To help your life be easier. To be easier. Not more difficult, not more frustrating, not to argue it, not to go back and forth with, not to yell at, not to scream at. None of that. That's all drama. That's that Babylonian wine. It's all confusion. She is there to help you, and that is it. So if she cannot add to you, if she cannot help you in any way, you don't need her. What can she do for you? Okay? Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22 through 24. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. You submit yourself to the Lord, right? So submit yourselves to your husbands as you do unto the Lord, the same way. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. Salakia. Even as Yahushua, Hamashiach, is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. This goes hand in hand with 1 Timothy 2, 11 through 15. how it said in verse 15, she should be saved in childbearing. Okay? But if we go to Ephesians chapter 5, it says, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Yahushua is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Okay? So the husbands are saved through Yahushua, because the church, the tabernacle is with men. It's written in the book of Revelations. The church is with the men. Okay? We are the glory. Man is the glory of Yahushua. You understand that? A lot of these women don't want to hear that, but that's the truth, Akim. This should be boosting your self-esteem. Okay? And we're saved through Yahushua. Okay? And although the woman theoretically is saved through the mercies of Yahushua as well, but it is primarily through what? We just read it for the slow people in the back. She shall be saved in childbearing, man. You're going to be saved through being an extension of your husbands, man. Okay? Of your husbands being primarily the 144,000 elected men of the Lord. Okay? Let's continue. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Yahushua, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. In everything. Okay? You are subjected in everything. So without me having to say it, and I'm going to say it, and I'm not going to speak for all you Akim, because some of you Akim are simps, but primarily the real men of the Lord, we're chauvinists. The raw Hebrew is indeed 144% a chauvinist. You women are the weaker vessel. You are to serve. You are to be obedient. You are to do what the hell you've been told. Okay? In all subjection, and you are to shut your mouth. And the Bible just told you that. Okay? It's funny how these Constantinian, pagan, Babylonian Christians, okay, these Catholic Christians, love this New Testament. They love quoting Paul, but they don't ever want to read the whole New Testament. They only want to go to the Old Testament. They don't want to touch the laws, because the laws cut even deeper. Okay? You women need to be in order, man. Okay? And that's just the order that Yahushua set up. Okay? Now let's continue. Let's wrap this thing up, brother. We almost done. We only got like 6 or 7 more verses, and I'm going to hit them off like a hot knife through butter. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Sarah called Abraham Adonai. She called him Lord, man. Because she knew Yahushua was dealing with Abraham. And you know what? Yahushua was dealing with Sarah because she was with Abraham, man. Real talk. Whose daughters ye are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. Okay? You women are supposed to bow down, man. Like, real talk. That's the most feminine thing you can do. If you want a man of the Lord in the times to come, you need to practice this. And nobody needs to see it. You can go in your room late at night or whatever the case, before you go to work. Practice getting on your hands and knees, okay? And imagine a man of the Lord in front of you. A lot of you women refuse and cannot even fathom doing that before the feet of a so-called black man. You understand? But if you really want a man of the Lord, you know what? That's going to be one. If I do choose to add on to myself in these days to come, that's going to be my qualifier. One of my qualifications. I'm going to tell you to, you be like, excuse me, sir, I really need help. Can I please go with you? Can I please come with you? I'm going to look at her with a straight face. Get on your knees. Put your hands on the ground. Put your face on the ground. Put your face in the dirt. Put your face in the dirt. Kiss my feet. If there's any teeth sucking, any eye rolling, any type of issue with that, I'm not going to say one word. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to walk away and not look back. I'm not going to speak. Because guess what? I got to get on my knees. I got to get on my hands. And I got to pray to Yahushua Mashiach for his mercies and beg him for his mercies, for to be forgiven. Okay, for my sins. I got to beg him. Okay? And you women are to pray to Yahushua Mashiach as well. But what do we just read? You are to reverence your husbands also as unto the Lord. You understand? So granted, you don't got to beg us for forgiveness. We can't forgive you. I mean, we can forgive you for the transgressions you've done against us, but the transgressions in your life, of course, you got to pray to Yahushua. Okay? That's just, we know that's the truth. But in the same respect, the same honor, respect, and reverence, if you love the Lord, man, you're going to obey and bow down to your husbands, man. Whether you like it or not. And I'm going to read it to you. Okay? 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 41. It's talking about Abigail, okay? And she arose and bowed herself on her face to the earth, okay? And said, behold, let thine handmaid be a servant to wash the feet of the servants of my Lord. That is freaking beautiful, man. That is a humble, humiliating. That what follows humility? Honor. You want honor, you got to be humble. And even men, even Yahushua Mashiach was humiliated and practiced humility by washing the feet of his brethren, man. That's humility. Even the brethren, we got to practice humility amongst each other. So you women think you're going to just walk around here proud, thinking somebody owe you some shit? No, you are already a damn servant. Get on your knees and bow down. Be humble. Humiliate yourself before the men of the Lord, that the mercy may be bestowed upon you, that you may be found worthy of the mercy to even cleave on to a man of the Lord. Okay, because that used up vagina is not going to be enough. I want to see character. I want to see humble, humility, character. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's go to 1 Kings chapter 1 through 31. Bathsheba. Then Bathsheba bowed with her face to the earth and did reverence to the king and said, let my Lord King David live forever. She bowed down with her face to the earth, put her face on the damn ground, man. Stop playing. Okay? And guess what? If you get up under the men of the Lord, you're going to be good. I might sound, I'm going to close it out with that, but we're going to continue with the examples. 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 24, Abigail once again. And when Abigail saw David, she hasted and lighted off the ass and fell before David on her face and bowed herself to the ground. These were real women. Let's go to the book of Ruth, man. And she was a heathen. Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground and said unto him, why have I found grace in thine eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger? Because Boaz looked out for her because she forsaken her mother and her father and her land to come, I believe help her to be with her husband and her mother-in-law, her stepmother. You know what I'm saying? And then her husband had perished and she became a widow. But she was humble. That's the point. She was humble and bowed herself to the ground, man. That's the type of woman that the men of the Lord are going to exercise spiritual powers for, man. That's the type of woman that the men of the Lord are going to go tooth and nail for. That's the type of woman that the men of the Lord are going to share their resources with. Even put yourself before ourselves. Put ourselves in discomfort to make sure you're comfortable. That's the type. That's what real men going to do for their woman. You understand? We put our children and our woman first, and our woman put us first. You understand? That's real womanhood. Bow your ass down and shut the fuck up. That's womanhood. That's femininity. All that pride. Pride is hateful before men and Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. We're men and we're not supposed to be prideful. So how much more so you women? Okay? There's an order to this. It's a holy thing for you women to bow down and submit. That's submission. If you look at nature, man, animals bow down to one another. If you have a pet dog and you start to chastise your dog, what does that dog do? It bows down. It bows down to you, man. It exposes its back. It exposes its spine. It exposes its vulnerability. It's body language of submission, and you women are going to learn it. And some of you women might be like, well, Abigail and Bathsheba bowed down to the king. You niggas ain't no kings. You ain't nobody to bow down to. That's how these women always try to find a way out. Don't they, Akim? They always try to find a way out from the truth, man. But guess what? I'm going to end it with this, Akim, and then we're going to end it on a beautiful note. Revelation chapter 1, verse 6. You are kings, brethren. If we endure to the end, we are the next kings of the earth. We are going to be the new royal family. That's what's coming. We're coming to the closure, the consummation of times, and the closure of this wicked, evil Babylonian kingdom, and we're going to be the next kings. So yeah, you women are going to bow down, because we are going to be the next kings, okay? And co-heirs with Yahweh Shai Mashiach on thrones. And let's close it out with that. Revelation chapter 1, verse 6. And hath made us kings and priests unto Yahweh and his Father. And have made us kings and priests unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Kohalohim Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Because he's bringing us up from the ashes, man, from a very low place to priesthood and kingship, man. It doesn't say he made us into kings and queens and priests and deaconesses. No, this is masculine. The men of Israel, the elect 144,000 men, okay, shall be kings and priests, man. Okay? And we know what the world is to come very soon, because this world is ending right now. Lockdown, baby. New world order. The time of temptation. Jacob's trouble that we shall be saved out of. We got a little bit longer to go. But you women going to learn submission. And you're going to learn to humble the hell down. And you men going to learn how to be disciplined and stop treating these harlots like queens. Stop it. You're destroying yourself. You're going to destroy yourself thinking like that, man. And we're going to close out with Matthew chapter 19, verse 28. And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel, man. With that being said, man, you future kings, my Akim, my brethren, I pray that this was edifying for you. And I'll be back shortly. And until next time, man, when I get another video out, I pray meanwhile that this be edifying for you, Akim, man. And shalom and peace. And until next time, man.